Hello, this is the Captain Paxo, welcoming you back to some more Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, and I am playing my favourite character in this game, because I finally got him! The Geth Trooper Soldier. Now most people, like the guy in front of me, who plays the Geth Trooper, generally uses it as a flamer character. His Geth Trooper isn't like super flamer dedicated, most people only use flamer with him. Me, I'm using him for the weapon damage, because, you know, Hunter Vision increases your, essentially weapon efficiency, weapon potency, increased fire rate and whatnot. Fortification, then, gives you damage resistance, which is really good when paired with Hunter Vision, because Hunter Vision reduces your shields by half, and with Fortification, you get plus 40% damage reduction. So it works out at about a negative 10% difference in survivability when you have Hunter Vision and Fortification on compared to none, but the Fortification does also increase your health survivability. Not that Geth have a lot of survivability in their health, but there you are. And it's pure weapons. There are no abilities, which means you don't have to worry about cooldowns at all. 0 cooldowns, unless you want to toggle Hunter Vision, which is actually a good idea to do depending on the situation, because of course taking it off will give you your max shields back. When it comes to the setup that I've got, I do want to remark that on the Geth Plasma Smg, in the clip at the end, showing like all of my powers and weapons and stuff, in that clip I have the high velocity barrel on, whereas in the gameplay I just have the regular barrel on. Difference being that the high velocity increases your damage against armored targets, but nothing else, whereas the regular barrel just increases your damage by 25%, which is a big deal when it comes to the Geth Plasma Smg, because I still only have it at rank 1, which is really depressing. And, you know, as much as you do get a damage bonus with Geth weaponry when playing as a Geth, at least with my skill tree, it's still not a huge increase for the Geth Plasma Smg, because although it's got really good ammo and fire rate and accuracy, it's not the most damaging thing on the planet. And then of course I'm using the trusty Faceton, because, hey, it's the Faceton. Like, sue me. It's an incredibly reliable weapon. If I had the Cerberus Harrier, this gameplay would probably be me using that, but I don't. You know, I never got the Cerberus Harrier, not even back on 360. But there you are, something to work towards. And Cryo-Round's just doing their work, you know. Really good stuff. But yeah, this is just the general gameplay, you know, shooty, kill all the things. It does reward good accuracy and mobility, because you're not the most tanky thing on the planet. You're not dishing out the most amount of damage, and you haven't got any abilities to rely on, so you have to do good with the shooting aspect of it. And I think that's something I really like. In a game that is so focused on all of the crazy powers that you have, most people don't focus on the weapons. There are ways to do it, of course, it's just it's not all that common. And especially with a character that has the flamer ability, it's so popular because it has a ton of range, it does decent damage, and it sets everything up for fire explosions. And of course, any explosion you get, or that you prime, if it's detonated, you get all of the points for that detonation. Really powerful stuff. But I just feel like that's just a complete waste of what this character gives as its abilities. You know, focusing on an ability that a decent chunk of characters get, as opposed to the unique synergy of Hunter Vision and Fortification. There will be a little bit of muting of the audio as well, because there is someone talking down the mic, and I don't hate it. It's just very jarring considering how loud it is compared to the rest of the game audio, and I'm not too sure if there's settings to actually fix that or not, but oh well, we shall just deal with. This guy's using the N7 Slayer, which is not a character that I see all that often. I don't know. Curious stuff, that. As I'm trying to do a little bit of clipping through the geometry. Because thanks to, well, I don't need to worry about weight, which means I can carry 2 weapons. And because I can carry 2 weapons, I don't need to worry about ammo economy as much anyway. No, there's a reason why I've got a secondary weapon. It's because, hey, I might run out of ammo on my primary because this is a weapons loadout. I've got no abilities, like I said, don't need to worry about cooldowns. So for the Faceton, yeah, no ammo mods. And same thing for, well, the Geth Plasma Smg is a little bit different. I've got the heat sink, which gives you like at max rank, you get a 45% chance to just for it to not consume ammo, which is really powerful. That it does increase your damage output, because once the Geth Plasma Smg is at it has a wind up to it, right? It's a spool up. Once it gets to that maximum fire rate, it's dishing out some pretty decent damage. And if you can increase your magazine capacity, then, you know, you've got more shots to dish out at that maximum fire rate. Pretty tasty stuff. Only thing is, you can't really increase your magazine capacity, but you can artificially increase it by using the heatsink. And I say artificially, it doesn't physically increase the magazine capacity, but because it has a chance of not consuming the ammo when you fire, it means that it effectively increases your magazine capacity. Sometimes it will increase it by about 45%, sometimes it'll be a little bit higher, sometimes it'll be a little bit lower. That's just RNG for you. And, oh wow, I thought I was going to deactivate the hunter vision there. Again, some fancy footwork going on around the brutes. Did that teammate get executed, or was it a grab? I couldn't quite tell. I do like the Geth hop as well. That's probably my favorite evasion skill in the game. It's not very long distance, but it's very quick. You know, so if you just need to quickly sidestep a rocket or a brute or something, you can very easily do that. You can see here, getting some decent work out, or work, would that be the right term? Usage out of the heatsink. Because you'll notice I get to hold down the trigger way longer than you'd think I'd be able to. And if you're watching the ammo count in the bottom left hand corner of the screen as well, it kind of stops or slows down a little bit at maximum fire rate. Oh, it's so satisfying just to listen to it go, you know? I don't think I ever used the heatsink back on 360, I don't know why. But unfortunately, this is an unranked Geth Plasma Smg. I don't have any SMG damage bonuses, so I'm doing piddly damage to this brute. I mean, it's still something, you know, it's better than nothing. It's just like, ugh. God, I wish it was upgraded. But alas, there are a lot of things that I still have left to unlock. Like I said, I only just unlocked the Geth Trooper. And there's a lot of weapons that I just don't have. But playing on gold, it gives you a lot of credits, which means a lot of packs, which means you start unlocking stuff at an increased rate. Which is very nice. Oh, this guy's gonna get... I'm so worried about people getting grabbed, you know? Because it's just... It's so easy. Ooh, we've got a Cabal Vanguard. I've been playing a lot of Cabal Vanguard recently as well, because I've been trying to get the combat mastery. All I'm missing is the melee damage, and I just don't play melee characters. The Cabal Vanguard is like the closest thing that I get to that, and I don't really use her as like a primary melee character. I mean, I do... I do a little bit of melee here and there, but it's mostly on the lighter units, and you really don't get a lot of points for doing that. And I try to hit the boss enemies sometimes with a little bit of melee, but I'm so hesitant to do so because it's so easy to get grabbed. I'll get grabbed in a minute or two, as that guy gets grabbed.
Ha 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 ha! The donkey! Thank you, Missile Man.
Oh dear. Such as grab, such as this game. But yeah, they really don't need a lot of time to be close to you to be able to grab you, and I feel like that's a poor bit of game design. I feel like they should be within proximity of you to be grabbed, and there should be like a timer before they can grab you. Because right here, there you go. I spent like maybe half a second within range of that Banshee and I get grabbed immediately, and I just don't think that's fair when you're going up against phantoms that can sneak up behind you and then do that to you, you know? Whereas if there was like a set amount of time that they had to spend within close proximity of the player before they can grab you, then, you know, might be a little bit fairer. I think this person's using Venom Strike on the Cabal Vanguard, which is not an ability that I particularly like. I'm not a huge fan of it, but then the Cabal Vanguard you can build in a lot of different ways, and I really like that. You know, I think those are my favorite characters in Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, the ones that can be built in multiple different ways. You know, Cabal Vanguard, you can focus on the biotic focus, you can focus on the Nightshade quills, or you can focus on the Venom Strike, or all three, or just two of them. You know, a lot of creativity to go around there, and it's the same thing with the Awakened Collector Adept. You know, there's not one defined build for the Collector Awakened Adept. You can do quite a few, and it's still very, very powerful. And I'd like to bring the case of the Geth Trooper being the same. You know, you don't have to use Flamer. You don't have to be an ability-focused character. You can just shoot things. You know, it's not the most exciting gameplay you'll ever watch, but it demands a lot out of you because you can't really afford any mistakes. You have to be at the top of your game because, well, the only thing you've got to save you are your equipment, you know? But yeah. Hence why, well, have I talked about how I just don't like Flamer as an ability? I'm just not a fan of it. No, it's not my style, not my cup of tea. I'm not that kind of guy. You know, you just sort of stand there, blowing a flamethrower on the enemies, and then you just get 3 points. I don't know, it's very underwhelming for me, not very satisfying. You don't really have to work for it too hard. But that's just me. If you want to play a Flamer Geth Trooper, then as much as I might be a little bit disappointed in the lack of unorthodox strats, I can't deny it's popular for a reason, you know, as I'm gonna put myself in a real bad spot. There's a Marauder behind me and I haven't clocked it yet. There he is. So I turn off my Hunter Vision to give me a little bit more shields, a little bit more survivability as I try and take care of this, and I'm gonna try and get rid of this Ravager as well by myself. One of the interesting things that I've noted about the Ravager recently as a melee character is they cannot shoot you if you're within point blank range of them. The only issue then is that you're getting swamped by the poison. All the little shitbangers. Little swarmers. And so it's not very good for characters that are not very durable, like me. You know, it's good for a character like the Cabal Vanguard that can just spam Biotic Focus, or Geth Juggernaut that just doesn't care about damage. But for a character that's fragile, like any of the Geth, it's slightly less of a good idea. Which, speaking of which, aside from the Geth Juggernaut, the Trooper is the most durable of the Geth, just because of fortification, you know? I mean, the Engineer's got the shield turret that restores shield, so I guess that's one method of survivability, but it's not like straight up face tank ability, you know? And the Geth Infiltrator, well, that's invisibility, it's not, again, face tank ability. And with our lack of damage, because admittedly, yeah, not doing incredible damage, you really have to place your shots carefully. Again, it demands good play. And I'm very sad, honestly, that this is pretty much the best damage that I can do. My armor-piercing, whatchamacallit, mod, isn't maxed out. It's only like rank 2 on the assault rifle, but still, it's not great. Hopefully, when it gets to rank 5, it will be amazing, and I'll be able to down those Banshees ridiculously fast for a character with no abilities. you know? But for now, we just do the shooty and play the best to our abilities, right? There's a husk up my ass. I am wondering, though, the effectiveness of this character for doing a solo. Because I am thinking about doing some solo stuff. I don't think solo bronze would be particularly entertaining, so I might just do those in my own time. And then at some point try and do a solo silver. I'm not too sure with what character. I'll probably just experiment, mix and match. But that could be an interesting saga. Of me trying to do solo silver. And then once I've unlocked some more potent stuff, you know, some weapon mods, some stronger weapons, maybe some stronger characters, then I'll try and do solo gold. I don't think I'll ever do solo platinum. I'm not. I ain't that good. Never have been, never will be. Because I'm having to get real careful here. Look at this mod. So much fucking value out of it.
Captain Paxo, you're the shit.
I don't know if that's good shit or bad shit, but I'm apparently the shit. Alright. I'm finding that I'm definitely running out of ammo, though, aren't I? Like, very easily. I could put on a stabilizer mod for extra accuracy, but on the Faceton it's just not necessary, because the Faceton's already got really good accuracy, and I'm pretty sure that the Hunter Vision gives increased accuracy as well. So there's just no point, as I'm trying to keep my head on a swivel, make sure we don't get flanked. But this is a really interesting spawn, where every enemy is going to be coming from this one direction. They're all just going to funnel down this corridor. I'm concerned that they're going to come round the side, but they just don't. You know? And I've never seen this kind of stuff. And I think it happened a couple waves ago, or it'll happen in a couple more waves, where they're coming down the other side behind us, you know? All that one way, and nothing ever comes the other way. It's just really bizarre. I don't know how we managed to influence the spawns to do that, but there you go. I don't know if it's just the game being weird, and it was just this one time, and it's not very reliable, but hey. It was interesting. I've never seen this much action around this one room. It's a very popular room, don't get me wrong, because you can shoot down below. But on this map, it's a lot more difficult to do that, because obviously your range is obscured. Even with Hunter Vision, you know, if you're going for the extra damage, which you probably should be, then you're not going to have the added range of the Hunter Vision, so you're not going to be able to see through the entire map. And I used to play with the increased range on the Vision, but I just found the damage to be way more useful, because the Vision, although it's useful, it doesn't give you enough... How should I put it? It doesn't give you enough of an advantage to take the range over, or the Vision over the damage, you know? Like, it's good, but it's not that good. There's a brute up my ass. I take a little bit of a risky route to sneak past a Banshee, but I figured I was safe because she was facing the other way, but that doesn't stop Banshees. They could just 180 and pick you up, no problem, you know? Now, me and the Cabal have got a brute to deal with. That's no big deal, you know? Couple swarmers. There you go. And a wave complete. And so it's going pretty smooth so far. I got one grab, which is unfortunate. As the dude gets downed by fucking swarmers at the end of the wave. That shit's always funny. It's always stupid, but it happens, you know. And I didn't even check to see what wave it was. God damn it. Probably like wave 9. Judging by the how much is left of the recording. But I've been trying to complete more of the challenges. You know, there was a time in my Mass Effect 3 multiplayer career where I just didn't give a shit about that, and I would just play whatever the hell I wanted to play, which resulted in about 200 plus hours of this character alone. So, you know, be prepared to see this character. It's a great weapons tester because, you know, it's all about the weapons. You have no abilities to back you up, so if your weapon sucks, you're not getting very far, you know? And I did try with the Revenant, but again, the Revenant is, it's just not very upgraded, which means that it's incredibly lacking in the damage department. It's not that it's a bad weapon, it's just it could be better, you know. It slows your movement speed, it's got crazy recoil, it's not very accurate, but it deals decent damage. But at rank 2, not enough damage, as I'm getting shot up the ass by a Marauder. I haven't even checked it, you know. I'm getting shot, and I'm like, why am I taking so much damage? I thought there was a teammate behind me, and there was a teammate behind me, but Marauder just didn't give a fuck. Oh, that's not the direction that I wanted to evade. Don't want to pin myself in a corner there.
Sheriff Cuddles is the ruler.
I'm not sure if this guy was just high or just really into, like, praising his team, but I ended up getting a couple matches with him and pretty much just the same attitude. I don't know. He was just having a really good time. Oh god, the brute's up my ass. And Banshees as well, and no ammo in the box, so I'm gonna have to swap to my secondary in a second. But that's all good, that's what we've got the secondary for, right? This guy's gonna get grabbed, so I'm just using a missile, I don't care. We probably could have gotten rid of them without having to use a missile, but I didn't want to risk it.
Thank you, Sheriff Cuddles.
And we've already, yep, you can see I've already done like 50 waves with the Geth Trooper. Just because I like this character a lot. I've played a lot with this character. Been doing a lot in my own time. But back to the challenges. Been really trying to focus on them. Like I said, with the Cabal, doing a lot of melee damage. The faction damage is really annoying because, like, the stuff that doesn't spawn all that much and doesn't have a lot of life, that stuff takes forever, you know, like husks and abominations and ravagers. Like, there's not enough ravagers for you to be able to build up the points that quickly. And especially with the husks, because that's a combination of they just don't spawn all that much and they have got barely any health. As the Cabal does a very fancy thing of teleporting through the geometry. And I deactivate my hunter vision to try and get a little bit tankier, just so I could get to the objective a little bit more comfortably. As we've only just now gotten our 50 assault rifle kills. Which feels a little bit sad, you know? I did not expect that to still hit me. I thought it would hit the, like the big old container in front of me. I should really turn my hunter vision back on. There you go. Get a little bit more damage out there. As the objective spawns right next to me, and I kind of don't want any part of this because it's a brute and a banshee. And I think there's a ravager behind me as well. Yep, there's a ravager, and another banshee's getting involved as well. This is the end. Goodbye. I should be dead now. Yep, there you go. But that's okay. We got downed instead of grabbed. Which, again, episodic PSA to stop reviving people who are near grab enemies, because they'll just get one shot and you'll have completely wasted it. As some teammates try and revive me, but I was about to bleed out, so I do the unfortunate thing of having to spend a medi-gel. As I think, yep, all the grab enemies are away, so good old safety net. And we got a revive medal. Yay! Can we talk about that, by the way? Like, you think about, like, the difficulty of getting the revive medals, the first aid medals. They're ridiculous. You have to get 5 of those just for bronze. Just for bronze! You know? That's 5 teammates that have to go down and either don't use a Medigel, don't rage quit, and don't get picked up by other teammates, and don't bleed out, and don't get executed. There's a lot of things to go on in there for you to be able to get a single revive, and you've got to replicate that a total of 5 times just for the bronze medal. Just for the bronze, then you got to do it another 5 times for the silver, and I'm assuming another 5 times for the gold. I can't imagine it being 20 revives for gold. That would be horrible. You'd never get it. But I don't know how many it is. I can't remember. The last time I got a gold fucking revive medal was back on 360 about 7 years ago. You know? But then you compare the difficulty of the first aid medals to, like, grabs. You get a bronze grab medal on the first grab that you get. Do you know how easy that is? You just run up to a piece of cover that, or piece of, like, half cover, so crouch level cover, that another enemy is next to. You get in cover, and then you hit the melee key, and then you're invincible for the entire animation, and it's an instant kill. There you go, 1 grab, bronze medal. And then silver's 3, and gold is 5. So theoretically, you can very comfortably get the gold grab medal on the first wave. The first wave! And you can get a gold medal for grabs. But for fucking revives, now you gotta get a total of 5. This was the final wave. This is extraction, so, and, you know, only just got it. It's ridiculous. Only just got the bronze, and that counts as 1 medal. And you've got to get, like, what, 100 first aid medals for the challenge? I've got, like, 44 in all of my time playing so far. It's ridiculous. That's going to be, like, one of the last things that I need to get the Mass Effect challenge, you know? As we get a partial extraction. Pretty tough ending, but there you go. And anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you have a character or weapons or specific setup that you want me to try, if I have that character, I will do it. So leave that in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.